Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we're going to give you a progress report on all of the orders that you have put online. These sweet little plants are growing. Some of them are blooming, and they are definitely thriving here at Creekside Nursery. Also, I know that so much of the country is getting blasted by cold winter, just nasty snow, ice, yuckiness. So we are here to bring a little bit of sunshine and inspiration to you. So I want you to grab your gardening journal, grab a pen and paper, get nice and comfy, because we are going to talk all things color and beautiful flowers and inspiration for this upcoming growing season. I know that it feels like spring is miles away for some of you, but I promise warmer days are headed your way very soon, and we have got some beautiful plants to show you. Now, what we are focusing on today are all of the plants that are available online, specifically annuals and perennials. That is what we are looking at. If you want lots of more detailed information about a specific plant, you can go to the website www.gardeningwithcreekside.com. All of these plants that we're going to talk about today are on the website. So if you want to know like more specific details, height, all this kind of stuff, go to the website, it will be there. But I am going to give you loads of information about that, and we are going to have some fun, right? Yes, we all need more flowers and color in our life, and that is what we're going to look at today. We're going to hit the annuals first. These have been potted up for 2 weeks, I think. Maybe 3 weeks at the absolute most, and they are doing great. Now, you will see that some are growing faster than others because some really love the cold weather, like the super bells down at the end. They have flowers on them already. The warmer stuff, they're a little slower, but we have no doubt that they are going to be gorgeous. Now, here we have one of the brand new plants for this year from our friends at Proven Winners. This is a new series for them. It is a Kufia, the Totally Tempted series, and there are 4 colors in this series. Last year we tested these out. This is the Frosted Violets, and you can look like, yes, she's this nice small little plant. This is one that's just kind of hanging out. Kufias like it hotter. But this plant, the specific one, Frosted Violets, created such a buzz and a stir last year. We had them in our deck boxes, mixed in with some other annuals, and folks were going crazy over this. Now, this is, everything I'm going to talk about right now is annuals. Be about 16 inches tall and about 18 inches wide at its height, and it is going to be that beautiful bicolor. So this Frosted Violets is a beautiful, then there's 2 reds, there's the Vivid Violet. So no matter what color you're looking for in those nice, really nice warm colors, that Totally Tempted series is going to be one that you're going to be excited about for sure. Then we have over here, we have the Rocapuco Impatience, and last year we could not keep these sweet babies in stock. Let me show you one. This is the Rocapuco Purple. So my friends who have those shadier areas in your garden, and you're like, you know, I can't have flowers in the shade. Oh, yes, you can. The Rocapuco series are those shade-loving double Impatience. The purple is a really deep, rich purple, and look how nice that plant's looking already. And I dare say there's a little bud already forming right here. So these guys are great, and they come in a range of colors. Like, there is a ton of colors. They're all throughout here. So whether you want to do white, you want to do something more bold like the purple, an apple blossom, a true purple is wisteria. Lots and lots of options for you. Nice mounded habit. They do great in the landscape, containers, hanging basket, you name it, they do really well. I will say a little tip for you on your Rocapucos. They tend to be, in my opinion, a messy plant because they have so many flowers with so many petals, they drop them. So if you like to keep, let's say you're thinking about putting this in a container on your porch, but you like to keep your porch really neat and tidy, maybe not be the best plant for you on that aspect. However, in the landscape, you never even notice it. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're planning your containers. that those that might be a tip that you might want to know about. We have got, oh my gosh, y'all are going to love this one. This is another new introduction. This is an Angelonia. This is the Angel Face Wedgwood Pink. I grew this last year and I loved it. If you're familiar with Wedgwood Blue, that's been around for quite a few years, this is its counterpart, Wedgwood Pink. So on that flower stalk, you're going to get whites and nice pale pinks. This is great for your sun garden. It is going to get a little bit of height to it in that 18 to 30 inches tall. So in a container, this would be like your Thriller. This is going to give you that height. Very upright habit on it, but a continuous bloomer. Like it just goes nonstop. If you want to go in there and selectively prune some of the older stems, you can, but no deadheading is necessary. So definitely a full sun one. You're going to love it. Again, containers and or landscape, it does really, really well. Oh, I don't know how the sales are going for this one, but if you do not have this planned for your sun garden and you are looking for the lowest maintenance, high performing, gorgeous color, attracts the pollinators, checks all the boxes, then you need the new Aromagica Purple. This is a heliotrope, y'all. Oh my gosh, this plant is amazing. It absolutely blew my mind last year because, you know, looking at the picture and then looking at the plant, like right now, you're like, yeah, okay, all right. But when I tell you that this foliage, how beautiful and dark green it is, yes, it's little, but at the end of the season, I'm talking November, this foliage was still just as beautiful and dark green and pristine as it is right now. Obviously, it's bigger than it is right now, but a nice mounded habit to it. It only gets, well, I say only, 18 to 30 inches tall. Mine stayed nice and mounded. Huge, deep, dark purple flower heads on it that your honeybees went nuts over. Japanese beetles did not touch it. So there you go. For those of you that deal with Japanese beetles, that is always a nice thing to hear, that the beetles do not like those plants. Now, look at this. Here we have some flowers. Talking about this, we have Snow Princess. So this is an alyssum, a sweet alyssum. And Snow Princess, as you can see, has beautiful, pure white flowers to it. And as its name suggests, being a sweet alyssum, it has a lovely sweet fragrance to it. Now, within this whole like Sweet Alyssum series, you have all the royalty. So you've got Snow Princess, you've got White Knight, you've got Violet Knight, you have got, let's see, am I missing any? That might be, but they're all kind of those royalty names. So beautiful, nice kind of mounded trailing habit to it. This is going to be just absolutely covered in flowers. You can see that it is doing well here in the cool greenhouse, doing really nicely. And then look at the counterpart. So here's Violet Knight. So if you don't want white and you want a nice rich purple, look at that Violet Knight. Nice deep dark purple. We have this growing also in one of the other greenhouses, and this past weekend I just kept sticking my nose in it because it has such an absolute sweet smell to it. I have found personally that these love lots of water. So if you have an area in the landscape maybe that you're looking for a nice ground cover that historically stays pretty wet, then your sweet alyssums are going to do really well. Also absolutely can put them in containers as well. Then we have, let's see if I can reach one. Here we go. This is going to be, again, for me in the South, this is going to be more for my shade garden. This is the Double Delight series, and this is Primrose. Now, it is a begonia, okay? And look at that sweet little baby flower. On the tag, it says full to part sun. If you are in an area that is a little bit cooler, your nights are not as intense as far as the heat and humidity, then you absolutely could try putting this in the full sun. I tried putting it in the full sun, but in North Carolina, Zone 8A, it was getting hot afternoon sun, and it just didn't like it. It was too intense for it, so I moved it to an area where it got morning sun, or maybe just a little bit of afternoon sun, and it thrived. These blooms will get nice and big and double, have a little bit of a kind of a mounding, trailing habit to them. absolutely spectacular. You could put them in a container, a hanging basket, and they would just be absolutely beautiful for you. So as we're walking down, of course, we've got salvias. So tons of salvias right here. If you were looking to attract your pollinators, your hummingbirds, then like Rockin' Fuchsia salvia would be a great one. Of course, Rockin' Deep Purple, one of the absolute #1 bestsellers without a doubt, is Rockin' Playin' the Blues salvia. This is such a fantastic popular plant, and rightly so. It has more of a silver blue foliage to it, and its bloom is going to be a little bit different than the other Rockin' series of salvias. Wonderful to attract and support your pollinators. Your bumblebees, your honeybees love this, and it is going to be some height to it, 24 to 48 inches tall. If you're in a cooler zone with a smaller growing season, a shorter growing season, it's going to be on that smaller side. If you're like me in the south where we have a really long growing season, it's going to get some good height to it by the end of the season. Really, really does well in the landscape when we have these long growing seasons. That's something to think about too, right? If you have a shorter growing season, then you can put plants in there like your salvias or your color blaze coleus. You can put those in containers because your season is shorter and they're not going to get so massive. If you're in the hotter zones and you have a longer growing period, when you have these annuals that tend to get big, look on that when you're looking at the information. You're going to be on that top end of how big it gets. So I always think about longevity. I want to think about how long my season goes. I don't want to have to be replacing my containers 2 or 3 times during the season. Who has time for that? Who has the money, the resources for that? I want to plant it once and have it go throughout the entire season. So like these salvias, those big color blaze coleuses, the graceful grasses, for me, those go into the landscape because my growing season is so long that they will just absolutely take over the pot, become root bound, and they won't be very happy. In the landscape, they can get as big and as happy as they want to and just do absolutely wonderful throughout my entire growing season. So that's just a little side note right there for you. If you are looking for a great, talking about those cooler weather temperature people, and or you're looking for a great spring bloomer or a fall bloomer that can handle that, the Aromanth mulberry Nemesia. This was relatively new in the past, I think, couple of years. We had such great success with this one last year in the landscape, performed really, really well. She is putting on her flowers, nice, deep kind of a plum and a light violet with that yellow throat in there. This Nemesia is fantastic. As its name suggests, being aromanth, it does have a lovely fragrance to it as well. So you can do it in the container, you can do it in a landscape. Does really, really well in all of those. Let's see, I'm trying to think, going through here. Dahlias. So this year, Proven Winners is introducing a new series, a new line of dahlias. They are the Virtuoso. Now, y'all, these are fabulous. The Virtuoso, this is Classy Carmine, and Classy Carmine is going to be that deep, deep, rich red for you. This is a very happy plant. She is growing quite well. She has already begun branching out, being very happy. These dahlias will bloom throughout the season. So we have that. Then there's the yellow, the Day Glow Yellow. And then, of course, the very popular Pinkerific, right? So Pinkerific is beautiful. She did amazing for us. We only got 2 last year to try. We had the Day Glow Yellow and then the Pinkerific. Really super impressed with the Pinkerific. And our customers, when they came to the nursery and saw them in the display gardens, they too were very happy and pleased with how well it is doing. Now, let me tell you, from here to here, there is this massive block of nothing but Superbena Pink Cashmere Verbena. Y'all, you love this plant as much as we do. If you want Super Bina Pink Cashmere in your garden this year and you have not placed your pre-order yet, you need to move with purpose, because we're not the only ones who love this plant. The whole nation has fallen in love with this plant, so supplies are limited, right? When the houses, Pleasant View Gardens and 4-star greenhouses, when they run out of pink cashmere, pinkerific too, but pink cashmere, it's gone for the season. So if you have not ordered the Super Bina Pink Cashmere yet, you need to do that. We will reorder as long as we can, but at some point the supply is going to run out, and we want you to have this plant because, oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. Massive, huge blooms on it. Very vigorous. Just, oh, we had it in the signature garden last year, and she was spectacular. Of course, like our verbenas, absolutely drink in the sun. Let's see, we're gonna move on down here. We're coming into some of our hot weather plants. So you can see here in the greenhouse, right, these are a little bit smaller. So these are like the Vermillionaire Kufia, the sunflowers, the portulaca, your sweet potato vines, your lantana, the evolvulus. We put these in this part of the greenhouse because this is one of the warmer spots. The heat hits it, but sometimes it just takes the good Lord, the long days and the hot sun to make these things grow. These are your plants that if you are in those hot areas, these are the plants that you want. You want the lantana, you want the evolvulus, you want the portulaca. Those Mojave portulacas are stunning. So that's why it takes a little bit of time for them to grow. Their roots are growing, but in order to see lots of top growth, we got to have the heat. So they're just kind of, the action's happening underneath in the pot and not so much up top. Now, on this side are all the petunias and the super bells. Talking about the super bells, and we're trying to find a plant here that has a flower on it. At this point, they all kind of go together. Here we have the Super Bells Black Currant Punch. Let me get this for you. Now, your Super Bells, your Calibrachoas, they do really well in the cooler times. So your Super Bells and your Super Petunias both can absolutely handle temperatures down into the mid to low 30s. They can handle a little frost. We have had them out in the landscape here with us in our own gardens when we've had those light frosts. We did that last year. They can handle it. It creates a nice tight plant. That's why we have these guys right here next to the edge of the greenhouse, because these sides roll up. And so when the greenhouse gets too hot, those sides roll up and that cool air rushes in. That keeps these guys nice and tight, and they don't get really super long and leggy. So they're very happy here. But your Calibrachoas, they hate to have wet feet. So if you have clay soil like me, that means you need to put them in containers. If you have nice sandy soil, like my friends down east on the eastern North Carolina coast where you have lots of sand, you can put them in the landscape. They will do well. There are a ton of colors in the Super Bells family, all the way from pure white to orange. Here is honeyberry, which is, I got an older bloom and a newer bloom, that nice pink with kind of that yellow throat to it. So very sweet. No matter what your color palette in your garden, the scheme and the plan that you have going together, there will be plenty of those, as I don't fall over on the plant, for you. So yeah, so we got lots of annuals. Now, let's talk about perennials, because the perennials have been growing for quite a little bit of time now and are getting height on them. They're getting nice and thick, and we have some flowers. Speaking of flowers, we've got the Trevi Fountain Pollinaria. Look, y'all. So Pollinaria is going to be for those shade gardens, right? They love that shade, part sun garden and can handle it. These are going to be more deer resistant, rabbit resistant, because they're hairy and have some texture to them. You have that beautiful foliage, and then in the early spring, you're going to get these blue and pink flowers. Now, Trevi Fountain is from our friends at Terra Nova. This is going to be hardy in zones 4 to 9. Okay, so about 11 inches tall. It's going to be wider than it is tall. gets nice and big. All of our perennials are going to be in quart-sized containers. All of the annuals are in grande-sized containers. Grandes are just a little bit smaller than a quart. Also, look, do you see what's hanging down here? We have got roots coming out the bottom, my friend. That is a beautiful sight to see those roots coming out. That means it is nice and happy in there and growing quite well. So the Trevi fountain is doing well, as is, look at this, baby. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for this plant. This is Hurricane Ridge. This is a Jacob's ladder. Look at that. She has put on some beautiful growth. This is, again, depending on your growing zone. It says sun to shade. If you're in the warmer zones like me, this is definitely going to be for more of your shade garden. It is going to be hardy in zones 4 to 9 again, and it will do some beautiful like blue purple flowers. A lot of times people may mistake this for like a type of a fern. It's not. It's a Jacob's ladder. Nice, healthy, very vigorous plants. Who says you have to have flowers to have beautiful interest in your garden? Do you not love this plant? Love the colors? I am telling you what, the eucharis right now are absolutely rocking in this greenhouse, and they are stunning. This is Red Lightning. Red Lightning, again, is from our friends at Terra Nova. They do a fantastic job with their eucharis. This is going to be hardy in zones 4 to 9 in the shade garden. So filtered sun, nice shady. You can have morning sun, afternoon shade, but just spectacular. And I would encourage you to think about your garden for all the seasons, right? So I know in the spring, a lot of times, a lot of the color palettes are with those like kind of those Easter colors, right? Those nice pastels, the pinks, the purples, the whites, the light blues. Think beyond that. Think about what's it going to look like in the summertime, what's it going to look like in the fall, so plan accordingly for that. Delosperma or an ice plant. If you, again, are looking for a very low maintenance plant, ice plants are it. So for me, it reminds me of like a seaweed. It is in that kind of that succulent type family. So it's very drought tolerant because it can absorb and hold on to the water in its leaves. This is the Wheels of Wonder White Wonder. We have one that's blooming, but it's just outside of my reach. I can't get to it. But it's a pure white flower. They open and close with the sun. This is a great ground cover. They stay low and then go wide. This is going to be hardy in zones 6 to 9. They only get 4 to 6 inches tall, y'all, but they can go 2 feet wide. So this White Wonder is a beautiful one for sure. And then more eucharis. Look, berry smoothie. Berry smoothie is berry delicious. Look at that. Beautiful plant. Another euchera. Still going to be in that more that kind of that shadier kind of area. Gorgeous roots coming out of it. Love it. Absolutely. Still in that zones 4 to 9. But you can kind of get an idea when we have them in mass right here, how they're going to look when they're nice and big as a big clump. And then everybody is flipping out about Georgia peach. Every time somebody walks in here, they are like, dear heavens, I personally am ready to take all of these and plant them in the garden because Georgia peach euchera is absolutely killing it. Now, this is going to be a little bit more sun tolerant. As its name suggests, she does really well in the south, as all of them do, because we get the ones that have that villosa species in there. But Georgia peach is, I mean, y'all, seriously, look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely stunning. So if y'all don't hurry up and get this for your garden, she's going in my garden for sure. Another one for your shade. Super cool. This is an acanthus. This is the white water. Look at this foliage. Now, this thing will bloom, but you're buying this for the foliage, the texture, the interest. It will get nice and big. I don't know if we can turn ever so slightly and see that new foliage, that new growth. It will have some white, some chartreuse, a little bit of yellow, the dark green on it. This is going to be for that shade garden in zones 7 to 10. So it's going to be for your warmer zones. It will get some height to it, like a 3x3, because it's going to do this big flower spike in it. Oh, cannot wait to see the white water absolutely in heaven. Now, this is one of those examples of why I'm telling you about all these plants. And if you haven't done your pre-order yet, you need to do it, because we're already selling out of certain plants. Case in point, Alexander's Great Brunnera. Now, we're absolutely going to restock this, but it's going to take a little bit of time. So Alexander's Great is that great Brunnera. It is an absolute classic, and you can see why. Nice, vigorous growth, beautiful silver overlay on that green. Look at the roots on this, nice and big and vigorous and beautiful, popping out. This is going to be for that shade garden, and it's hardying zones 4 to 8, 15 inches tall, 2 feet wide. So there are going to be plants like Alexander's Great that are going to be getting gobbled up. We haven't even really talked about that very much, because the people know that plant and they are grabbing it. Another one you're going to want to grab, brand new introduction this year from Proven Winners, a new Nepeta. This is Lemon Perfection. If you're familiar with chartreuse on the loose, it is similar in the fact of it has that same nice chartreuse color to it, does those purple flowers, massive pollinator attractor, but it seems to be much more tighter and compact than chartreuse on the loose. Like, we have not done anything to this plant. We literally just put it in here and we're letting it grow, and you can see this beautiful carpet of this chartreuse color right here, and it is doing super well. It's only going to get 10 to 12 inches tall, and that's with the flowers spikes on it. Hardy in zones 3 to 8, and this is going to be in sun. This is perfect for the front of the border, right there on the edge. You could put it in a container. It could kind of trail over a little bit. I think I'm going to add it to the signature garden on the edge of a couple of flower beds, because I had some dianthus that didn't like it right there. So we're going to try the Lemon Perfection because it's nice and tight and will do really well. I know right now the buzzword is hellebores. We have got several different hellebores, but y'all, they're gone. Are they all gone? They're close to it. So you love these hellebores as much as we did, so we restock, right? So when we bring in new plants, we kind of have to wait and see how do you like them? Do you not like them? Do they sell really fast, or do they just sit there and nobody takes them? You love the hellebores, so that means to us, hello, we need to order more hellebores, more variety, and have them available for you. So if there are some on there, you can go and look at that. Another one that you're going to be very interested in is another new introduction, and this is another Delosperma, an ice plant from Proven Winners. I have Pink Radiance right here, and then down here in a minute I have Razzle Dazzle. This is that Kaleidoscope series from them, but look at the difference. Not that one's, better, or they're just different than that White Wonder that I showed you. See how the structure on the plant is different? The leaf shape is different. This is very, very tight. Still will do really well. Nice ground cover. You absolutely can mix them for a variety. I planted the series of the Kaleidoscopes on the steps going up to the chicken coop, and y'all, all winter, they are nice and green. They're already starting to come back with new growth. So you're going to love these colors, because they have either the pale pink and the purple of that, or with the Razzle Dazzle, as its name suggests, is quite electric. It is that kind of that orangey pink with that purple center. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, your Delospermas, they are going to be just continuous bloomers. So once they start blooming, man, they just go to town and are very, very happy, and so much fun in the garden. A great, easy ground cover. Ooh, let's look at this. This is what I was talking about when we're looking at thinking about like fall color. Look at Copper King. Now, Copper King is a Eucharella. So a Eucharella is a cross between a Euchara and a Tiarella. So you get this beautiful, gorgeous color. This definitely kind of lends itself more to those fall colors, right? But when you use it in the garden and you pair it with somebody that's more of a color contrast to it, you're going to get such fun interest. Now, this is going to be 10 to 12 inches tall, hardy in zones 4 to 9. And on the tag, you're going to love this. So I'm looking at the tag and it says light. Any amount of daily sun. Well, hello, that just means that you're very versatile when the tag says light, any amount of daily sun. That is great, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I do love this Copper King. Don't forget about these beautiful colors. Very, very happy plant. That would do well. Okay, let's see. Trying to think. Oh, y'all, I don't know how this is selling. Bobblehead. This is an allium. Look. I want you to look across this little C right here. All of these, including, we'll get to it next too, but the clematis, the Stand By Me pink, all of these were bare roots, meaning that everything that you see right now is brand new growth in the last less than a month, right around a month, I think, when we potted these up. So Bobblehead is the new allium from Proven Winners, and if you have rabbits, if you have deer, then this is going to be a great plant for you. Serendipity, of course, is like that iconic Proven Winners allium that everybody knows and loves. So if you already have Serendipity, you're like, Jenny, I already have an allium. I don't need another allium. Well, guess what? Yes, you do. I'm very excited. I have a little tray over here of alliums that are the bobbleheads that are going to go in my garden because I have rabbits and my rabbits are eating my plants. They won't eat this though because it's an onion. Bobblehead blooms earlier than Serendipity. It's a bigger plant. The leaves are a lot bigger. They'll actually start to kind of a little twist to them, and it's a lighter shade of purple. So I personally am going to be adding as many alliums as I possibly can to my gardens because of that rabbit resistant, deer resistant, and then you're going to have lots of different bloom times, size, structure within the allium family. So that's that key. If you find a plant that does really well in your garden, whether it is if you have shade and it's Brunneras or Jacob's ladders or your eucharas, your eucharellas, whatever those are, or maybe it's a sun garden and you do really well with echinacea and salvias and dianthus and Shasta daisies. There is so much variety within those families. You can stick to those and still have an absolutely stunning garden. So there is a ton. Also, these are all the annuals we still have to pot up. We're going to start that today. So lots of options for you out there, whether you're looking for annuals, perennials. We're not even talking about shrubs yet. And so there's so many possibilities out there for your garden. Go to the website. You can look. If you are looking for full sun plants, full sun annuals, you can do a filter for that. If you're looking for pink full sun annuals, you can filter that way as well. So we try to make the website as user-friendly as possible. You will have lots of pictures on there. You will have a description that talks about the plant. Then you can look under characteristics tab that will give you all of the specs for the plant needs. So what zone is it? How much sun does it need? All of your information is right there for you on the website. Again, trying to make it as easy as possible for you to navigate that website. Y'all, please remember that orders over $175 ship for free. I can't tell you how many times when we're looking through orders and we see like 155, 160, 170, and they're still paying shipping. If you go over 175, you get free shipping. So please make sure that your cart has $175 in there and there's no code needed. That's just general, always how it works. So that way you can get free shipping. And yeah, so we're very excited. When do these orders ship? Right now, we're still in the pre-order stage. It is February. The weather is still crazy around here. We're expecting snow. Actually, I think today when the video goes out, we're supposed to be having snow and ice. So, and then the next day, like the low is like 14. So yay for us. We're with you, those that are covered in snow. So we are going to ship these plants according to your growing zone and the weather. So if you are in a zone 10 or a 9, the hotter zones obviously are going to go first. as long as the weather is cooperating and we don't have crazy temperatures of 14 degrees, and your plants are ready, they're happy, they're healthy, they've got lots of good roots, we're going to send them to you as soon as you are past your last frost date. If you are in Upper Michigan and you're a zone 5 or you're a zone 4 or a zone 3, don't worry, honey. I am not sending you plants anytime soon. I am going to wait until it's to your last frost date. Then we will send you those plants. If you order hard goods, let's say you order a tool belt or some Felcos or some land and sea, we're going to go ahead and ship it to you right away. They don't care if it's cold. We're going to ship those things to you, your birdhouses, your shroomies, whatever the case may be. As long as it's not a plant, we'll go ahead and ship it to you. But we're going to hold your plants until the plants are ready, the weather is ready, both for us and for you. So you will get email notifications as soon as your order is shipped and it gets that packing label from UPS. You're going to get an email that says your order is headed your way, and you will get tracking information and you can track it so you know exactly when it's going to arrive on your doorstep. All right, my friends, as always, we hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Hang in there, y'all. Warmer days are going to be headed our way soon, I promise. Y'all have a great day. See you next time. Bye, friends.